I'm Coach Dave. Welcome back to Coach's Corner.
Come on.
All right, I'm Coach Dave McDonough. Welcome to Coach's Corner. Today we have another young man, local Connecticut fighter, Anthony the Enforcer Neives out of Ortiz Boxing Gym in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Welcome, Anthony. Anthony's going to be making his pro debut next Saturday night, February 15th at Mohegan Sun on Jimmy Birchfield's CES promotion card. And, a little background about Anthony. He is coming out of Ortiz Boxing. Carlos Ortiz, Carlos Neives, coach over there. Been a mainstay in the state, in the gym for many, many years. And now he's picked his time to say, it's my time now to be a pro. And welcome to Coach's Corner, Anthony. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So how's training going, first of all? Let's get that out of the way.
Training has been intense, but it's been going good.
Yeah. So you've had a pretty long journey here,
Yeah.
which we'll kind of get into a little bit. Amateur background, took a little time off of boxing. Now it's back. So, you're coming up in a boxing family.
Yeah.
And been around it. Your dad, your uncle Carlos, everybody now. What was it a natural thing for you to decide as a young man that this is the path I want to be? I want to be a fighter.
Yeah, it kind of was kind of natural because I was born over there in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
And over there, I was playing football, playing flag football.
Yeah.
But when my uncle he opened up the gym over there in Bridgeport, Connecticut. My cousin, his son, he was fighting at the time, and they used to send us his tapes of his fights. They send it to us,
Right.
and we'll be watching it. So right there, I was already catching the interest. So then when my family decided to take the move back up over here to Connecticut, the first thing I wanted to do was go to the gym. I wanted to see how it was and everything. And then at first, my older brother, he started boxing before me, and they took him to the gym first. They wanted him to start training first, but I was always coming with him, like watching.
Right.
I was dying. I was always dying just to start already, and then eventually my uncle Carlos, the head coach, he took me in, started put the gloves on me, and then from there, the moment I put those gloves on, I fell in love with it. All I wanted to do was just box. I wanted to be in that gym every single day. It was, to me, that was my childhood. I was growing up in the gym. I didn't really have no childhood, or I was going out all the time or whatever. I was always in the gym. That was been my childhood growing up.
Yeah, I mean, boxing finds us in a lot of different ways, right? Your family being involved in it and, your uncle being a big part of boxing here in the state of Connecticut,
Yep.
Involved, as far as USA Boxing for the state of Connecticut on the board here, along with Louis Rosa, and always has been, as long as I've been in Connecticut and knowing your uncle, I mean, he's been, one of the big mainstays in the state. You're always putting out a good program, very involved, there for the kids. Coming out of Bridgeport, I know it's a little rough over there at times, but he runs a great program from the little kids up to now you guys starting to go pro.
Yeah.
How is it training with your uncle? I mean, I know him one way.
Yeah.
We work across the ring from each other and, work together at times and stuff. But when you decided to say, hey, this is the path I want to go, does it change up from uncle to coach?
Yeah, it definitely does. He was the trainer first, and then eventually he brought my dad on board. And then from there, it's like I got my uncle and my father as my trainers, and I have no say in nothing from there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they say that's what I got to do. I can't back talk or nothing to it.
Yeah,
Kinda
but that's, in the reality of the fact, too, is I know that dynamic is a tough dynamic. We see that dynamic with, family members in the corner. But, I mean, they bring a lot to the table.
Yeah.
It's not like they just said, okay, we're going to start coaching boxing because, you're in it or we got family. They bring a lot to the table. So I'm sure you're not treated much different than any of his other fighters. And
Yeah, no, of course not.
plus you got you got a reputation over there to kind of uphold of what comes out of Ortiz boxing. I mean, anything that we've worked with or went up against, I mean, you got to be on your game for those guys over there. And I'm sure when you walked in, people are saying, oh, maybe there's a little favoritism, maybe there's not, but I'm sure you had to kind of make your way and show that, hey, I deserve to be here.
Yeah, I definitely did, you know, because growing up, we had a lot of talented dudes in that gym.
Yeah.
I had a lot of talented dudes, but fortunately, some of them took off. You know, they got older. They had to start working for their families, or they turned to the streets. And I was fortunate to just be one of those guys who kept on the good path, the straight road, staying in the gym. You know.
Yeah.
But I was never looked differently in the gym. You know, all the guys in there, we all it's like a family thing in there. You know, none of us look at each other different or any favoritism in there. You know, we're all fighters. So no matter what, my uncle and my father, yeah, those are my uncle and my father. But when it comes to boxing, those are my trainers.
Yeah.
So they know how to switch that plug to being a trainer and then also being a father and an uncle to me, you know. Yeah. And come trainer side, all business. Ain't no, you know, they're gonna give me a pat on the back and be there trying to look out for me being safe. Obviously, they're doing that as a coach, but
yeah,
they're making sure like, hey, this is what you want to do. You know, we're gonna be able to push you.
There's only one way to really do it here. There's no other ways to go about it and cut the corner. But your path in boxing kind of took a little bit of a turn.
Yeah.
You know, you had an amateur background, good amateur background, young up-and-coming fighter, and you kind of put it on pause a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that because, you know, I think every fighter kind of goes through things in their lives, and it's a tough sport. It's tough to train every day or every, you know, and only having a few fights here or there, or maybe having too many fights, or, you know, you could kind of get burnt out in this sport really fast if you're not, you know, in the right gym or around the right people. Tell us a little bit about, because, you know, prior to COVID, you were a young amateur, very well-decorated national champion amateur on the path, right? And kind of went on pause. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll kind of get back to where you're going now.
Yeah, my amateur career was kind of rough, kind of like tough for me because when I was a kid, I started boxing, but I was a little chubby fat kid, you know? So it was kind of hard trying to find me fights because of my weight. So a lot of times I had to fight kind of the same guy a couple of times because that was the only time I could really fight. So they try to find me a fight. I would fight once, and then I have to wait a couple months till they could finally find me another fight to fight again. And that's kind of how I was. Even then eventually, as I got a little older, I finally like grew into the weight. And right there, that's kind of when like my amateur career started picking up some more. Started going to the Silver Glove Nationals and the Junior Olympic Nationals. And then eventually I got to the point, you know, because I was fighting, but a lot of these fights I had, I felt like I was getting like, I was getting like the short end of the stick. There was a lot of fights I had that I felt I won, but unfortunately it didn't go my way.
Yeah, amateur boxing it's a tough because I don't want to say it, but I am going to say it. There is a lot of favoritism in different events and different areas, and it kind of plays into outcomes of fights, I think. And people will say no, but us as coaches, we kind of know a little bit more about that. But go ahead.
And so I wasn't really having that many fights too. I was just became kind of like a gym rat, kind of. I was always in the gym every single day, training, sparring a lot. I wasn't getting that many fights though because of my weight. And then eventually I had my last amateur fight where I felt like, again, I had like kind of a bad decision. And kind of right there, I kind of like I felt out of love with the sport. You know, I was kind of getting tired of getting the short end of the stick. So right there, I kind of like walked away. Like I was still around in the gym, you know, even though I wasn't fighting or training, I was still there helping, coaching the youth, the ones coming up now. I helped a lot of them out, but I myself just kind of stopped boxing. You know, I took a step away, started hanging out. I was just not training. I was eating a lot, going out to eat a lot, and right there, eventually I gained a lot of weight to where I gained all the way to 316 pounds.
What was your last amateur fight at?
My last amateur fight was in like March of 2018.
Yeah, what weight?
Right there, I gained a little bit. I went up a little bit. I believe it was like at 154. That fight was. Because I got all the way down to like 147. Started fighting there. Then my last fight, I kind of like slacked off for that fight too. So that's why I came in at like 154 around there, I believe. That was my last fight there. And then from like 154, I gained all the way to 316 pounds.
Yeah, big jump.
Yeah, that was.
So now you're not training or anything else, and you know, I know you're always around the gym at the events. You're always helping out and everything else, but what kind of brought you back into it? What was the point now of you took the time, unfortunately gained up some weight and stuff like that, but what was it that, you know, made you switch back to coming back into the sport?
Yeah, I eventually got to a point in my life where I didn't really know what I wanted to do anymore, you know, because when
you're still a young man. You're only 22.
Yeah, I'm only 22.
You're a young man, and you know. Yeah.
So I got to the point where like, what am I gonna do in my life, you know? Because at first I thought it was boxing, you know. That was what I lived my entire life, just boxing. And then when I took that away, it was like, you know, what else do I really know other than just boxing, you know? And I think just still being around the sport, still coming to show love and support to all my guys back home in the gym, just staying around them guys and then helping them out training, and then I see a lot of their performances. I'm like, man, like it's kind of like it was like bringing me back slowly, and then eventually we had our amateur show back in Bridgeport, and a lot of our guys, we had about I think probably like 7 or 8 of our guys on that show, and they all put on great performances, and that right there, I don't know, it just something like kind of lit the fire in me. Like, damn, like these guys looking like that, and I helped them out, and even my uncle and my father, all coaching together, helping them out. But seeing them look that great in the ring, I'm like, man, like something just lit fire kind of in me again.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should give this another try, you know, because I didn't want to go through life without boxing and then eventually have a regret when I get older. But like, damn, you know, I could have did something like this. You know, maybe I could have got this far. Or, you know, I just want to at least give it a try.
Yeah.
To at least be satisfied with it.
You got to answer a question to yourself. I get it. You know what I mean? You could say, like, listen, you don't want to look down the road in 10 years and say, man, I should have took that chance to go. And you know what? Today, look, boxing at an amateur level is tough. Mm-hmm. Getting ready for a pro debut is even tougher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially now. So, you know, all this time that you're away, are you missing the sport?
Yeah, kind of. Now, I'm being in the gym.
Yeah.
It was just like, to me, gym's like another home to me. So like, you know, just being there, just not really training or whatever. But it was like, you know, I'm here hanging out with the guys, helping them train. But it was just more when I was going to the shows and seeing people fight. That's when I was like, damn, you know, I really do miss this.
Yeah, you miss the
having
whole
these fights.
preparation.
Mm-hmm.
So now you make the decision, all right, I got to start doing something for myself. Yeah, I got to get back. The road back, I mean, it's an amazing, whether you're fighting for a pro debut or not. I mean, look, from where you were to where you are today, how did you, one, figure a plan, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and then how are you sticking to that plan? Because I know that road, you know, whether you're fighting or not, there's times you want to waver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this journey here is definitely not easy. It's one of the hardest things I ever did in my life. Losing all that weight. And
tell us a little bit about that.
You know, you got to kind of take it really one day at a time, you know. Everybody, you know, I learned a lot with myself going through this journey. I found out things that I never thought before, you know, and I felt like it made me grow as a person, made me have my mentality strengthened up.
Right.
And kind of just gotta take it one day at a time, you know. A lot of people will go down this road, will kind of like give up on themselves because a lot of people expect results quickly, you know.
We all do. That's society today, man. We want to see it next week.
Yep.
You know, I'm sure you see people come in the gym, they Anthony, I want to fight. And then, they're there a week and they're like, well, when can I spar? When can I have a fight? It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't. Everything takes time, it's all a process, you know. You just gotta believe and trust in the process. So it's like going through this journey is like sometimes you put in so much work, as you said, you put in so much work for 1 week and then expect results, but it's like you get on that scale, you only lost like a pound after going so hard in the gym for a week. But then a lot of people would think, it's really a lot of a mental thing. More of this journey is like more of a mental thing than it is physical.
And that's where we could bring this into boxing, because boxing has the mental aspect of it all. Let me ask you, so when you started this journey, was the thought of a pro debut in your head, or was it the journey first, and then as you started to get into it and you started to see more results with yourself, did it come back to say, because, you could have had another amateur fight, right? You said, no, I don't want to have another amateur fight. I'm going to go right into the deep water. Was that part of the reason of the journey, or was the journey the first part and then the pro fight aspect came back into it?
Yeah, when I started, it was more like, I want to fight again. I was unsure if it was going to be amateur or go straight to pro. And then, but another part was too, because I was unhealthy. I had to get healthy again. I was out of shape, overweight. I wasn't feeling great within myself. So once I started, getting a good, probably like 40, 50 pounds down, that's when it hit me like, you know what? I want to fight again, but I want to go straight to pro. I don't want to. Yeah. I could have had another amateur fight, but I just felt like, what? Why waste your time? I still been in the gym. And I've been doing boxing my whole life, so it was like, let's just take it to that next level and go straight to pro.
Yeah. When you decided to start this back, how did you go about it? Did you have outside, besides the guys in the gym, your uncle, your dad, the rest of the guys, I know they're supporting you 100% over there. How did you come up with the plan? Was there a nutritionist? Was there a workout plan? Or, I know you've been around and, you could put things together yourself.
Yeah.
How was it put into effect for you? What did you say? Okay, I'm going to make the change. You got to put the plan on paper or, somewhere so this is where I want to go, but I need to know how to get there. How was it for you? Because, look, drastically, you made some drastic changes.
Yeah.
It wasn't just little changes. It wasn't like, okay, I'm a fighter, I got to cut 10, 15, 20 pounds and I'll be all right. And I could probably do it in 10 weeks, 12 weeks of camp, Yeah. You had a journey almost 2 years. How did you go about it?
When I jumped on that scale and I seen 316, I'm like, all right, I know I'm not where I used to be at. I know I'm not going to be able to train how I used to. So I just got to start things off slowly, And since I already been through the dieting where I was cutting weight and all for fights before, so, I already had my own knowledge of what I had to do, the foods I had to eat, the dieting, with drinking water and everything.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, let's take it slowly. Let's just get in the gym first day, see where I'm at. I started to do kind of like my old routine. I'm like, all right, I know I can only do this much because I can't do this because, I'm not physically capable of doing it yet. And then so I started slowly in the gym, just working out. And then with my dieting, I'm fortunate to have like a nutritionist that's in my part of my team. Shout out to my guy Neville. He knows his stuff. Like he's on point with everything.
So he put everything together for you.
I had talks with him about it, and then on top of it, with my uncle and my father, they also know. I know they're knowledgeable with nutritionist things too. So taking all three of them guys, knowledge from all of them, I started kind of put it together myself, and just started following a certain simple plan. I wasn't trying to like, all right, I'm gonna starve myself. Like you can't do that. I don't want to lose it the unhealthy way. I want to lose it the right way, the healthy way. As I wanted to slowly lose the weight, but feeling good with it.
Right. Throughout this journey, had to test you, not only mentally but physically.
Oh yeah.
I know. Fighters, they're going to tell you this, but we know when you're training, getting ready for fights, camp, cutting weight, getting in shape, there are days that, nah, I'm done. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to get out of bed. What was your motivation? Besides your team, I mean, they're not there waking your ass up in the morning to say, okay, you got to go do your routine before you work or before you go to the gym or school, whatever it is that you do. How are you keeping yourself motivated? Because like you said, it was one day at a time type of journey here.
Yeah.
And, you know, you might not have seen the results that you wanted to see as fast. How are you
Yeah, it definitely,
how are you keeping yourself going?
It was definitely tough. I know I had a lot of those mental breaks where it's like, you know, I'm putting so much work and I'm not seeing those results that I was wanting to.
Yeah.
But I just looked at it, you know, I got to take it one day at a time and just stay disciplined. You know, I kept focused on my ultimate goal, you know, losing the weight and fighting again. So
Yeah.
I knew it was like those days you wake up or you don't feel like doing anything, those really the days that really do count. You know, a lot of people do say that and it is the truth. Days that you don't want to do anything and you still go and do it, those are the days that count the most because you don't realize the kind of foundation you planting on those days. So I knew what I wanted in my life and I stuck to it. So those days where I'm like, man, I don't want to do anything, I'm like, you know, either you don't do it and now you have to work even extra more and you don't get set back to where it's like, now you got to put in the extra work. You got to keep going back. You know, I was just looking at it like either you get up and go do it and go chase after your dreams or you can keep putting it on pause, say, oh, tomorrow I'll do it, tomorrow. And then next thing you know, it's already going to be too late.
Them tomorrows don't come. What was the turning point when you finally, after all this, you're starting to put it in and you said, you know, so now your routine, let me just pause for a second. Your routine is, are you an early morning guy? Are you doing your cardio in the early morning or is everything done throughout the gym? Break your routine out at this point for yourself.
Yeah,
what you're doing.
I get up real early in the morning because I have to go to work. So I get up at 4 in. I have to go to work, be at work by 5 o'clock. But before I kind of had that schedule, I had a kind of like a more of like a 8 o'clock kind of start time. So when I had that schedule, I would get up in the morning and I would go to Planet Fitness. I'll get a workout in, then I'll go to work. Then, you know, do what I got to do at work. Then I'll go straight to the boxing gym and get another workout in. Or sometimes if I was able to go put in that work in the gym and Planet Fitness in the morning before work, I'll go to the boxing gym and then go straight to Planet Fitness and get my second workout. I had a kind of a plan to like start working out twice a day. And even if I couldn't get in that first workout, I would make sure I get it in afterwards. And that's kind of like with the discipline part. It was just, you have to do this in order to get where you want to be. So if you skip out on something, it's going to put you back. So I had to make sure I was got at least the second workouts in always. And it was just more like, first workout was more like a cardio thing, and the second one was, all right, you know, I'm working on my boxing stuff.
Yeah. Plus you're working. You're working at the, and you know, that's, you know, a lot of thing is too, people don't realize about fighters, you know, a lot of fighters are working full-time jobs still.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a testament right there that, you know, you got to work a full-time job, you got to get your training in, you got to get your rest, and you got to, you know, be ready. So when did it all start really clicking and saying, hey, bang, I'm at that point now, I'm going to start to step on the gas?
Yeah, I started that's basically when I started getting sparring again.
Yeah.
That's when I started feeling myself again. You know, I got down to a certain weight. Cause at first I was sparring, working out with the kids in the gym first. And kind of just moving around with them, working.
Yeah.
You know, helping them out, but also just helping me like get into shape. So then once I really started, all right, let's get in that first hard sparring, I'm like, all right, that's where I know I'm at. And I was getting some good, tough sparring, and what I was doing real good with them, especially for how big I was. It was like, it was surprising. It was kind of shocking to me, but again, I believed in my skills. I believe in myself. So once I started getting those hard sparrings in, felt like I was doing good. All right, they're like, all right, now the ball's rolling. I got to start push it even more. You know, try to start trying to get this weight down even quicker so I can start getting into that ring sooner.
Yeah. I mean, working with the kids and, you know, helping out in the gym, they see you doing this, you know, going to work, training. I mean, that's got to be a motivation to these young kids and something which is like, you know, you're out there walking the walk and talking the talk. So like if you're talking to a kid and you're trying to coach him and say like, dude, I'm out here doing my work trying to get down so I could fight.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean you can't go run? Or what do you mean? I mean, that had to be a big inspiration for these kids. Do you think, do you see yourself like that when you're working with these young kids in the gym? Do you think they're looking up to you? And I know a lot of guys don't want to think like that, but I know, you know, having good role models in the gym and, you know, especially in the fight game where, you know, everybody's got a story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't shy away from hard work. It don't matter how talented you are. You've been around talented people in that gym, and I'm sure some work really hard, some probably just got to where they were on their talent and maybe cheat the system a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. But, you know, at the end of the day, if you cheat the system's going to get you somewhere along the line.
Yeah, eventually catches up.
Do you find yourself as an inspiration to these young kids?
Yeah, you know, as I said, I'm one of those guys who don't like to look that kind of way.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I know I am kind of I am an inspiration to them because I'll be hitting the bags and I'll be watching kids around too as I'm hitting the bags and I see them looking at me. So I know I'm like, all right, I got to make sure I'm really putting in the work because not only doing it for myself, but I'm also, you know, being a role model to these kids.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you're representing something bigger besides yourself too. You look, people don't understand the dynamic of a boxing gym, especially one that's been established and it's a community gym and there's a lot of people involved in it, not only as fighters or trainers or, I mean, you got a lot of people looking to that area and they're looking for motivation. You know, I know Bridgeport, you got a dynamic over there, a lot of different people coming in and out of the gym.
Yeah.
And a lot of these young kids, you know, they're looking for someone. They're looking for a role model, whether it's a trainer or a fighter. But you're right out there saying like, hey, man, look what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you do something like that? And we don't think like that, but, you know, we do affect people's lives. We affect young fighters, especially today because the sport of boxing is losing out role models. The sport is not growing like it used to years ago. I mean, it's just there's not a lot of young kids coming into the boxing gym saying, hey, this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so many other sports that they can do or they could sit home, and this is tough to come in. You know, as right now you're getting ready to train to go pro, you know how tough it is for training. Yeah. And I know you guys train those young kids the same way as they're working with you. Yeah. So for a kid who's 7, 8, 9, 10 years old coming into the gym to work for an hour and a half, you know, that's tough. A lot of kids don't want to do that. Mm-mm. Not today.
Yeah,
you know?
It's definitely, as I say, boxing not for everybody. To me, boxing chooses you.
Yeah, I say that all the time, Anthony.
Yeah, it's not one of those things where, you know, I want to go be a boxer. Let me go to the boxing gym. I'm going to be a boxer. I'm going to start fighting. I'm going to start sparring. I want to do everything. It's not one of those kind of sports. It's kind of like boxing calls you, you know. You could start watching, but a lot of talented guys is more because they got fighting already in their blood. So when they go into the boxing ring, it became, you know, a lot of guys, as you say, become with that natural instinct already. So with boxing, I felt like boxing chose me because I kind of had the natural blood of fighting in me too. But it's definitely not for everybody.
No, and the thing is, boxing is going to test you, not only physically, it's going to test you mentally. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you're an testament of that, you know, because you had success as a young man. I mean, you're still a young man, but you know, as a young amateur, you had success. Mm-hmm. So like you could have said, okay, I'm on the path already. Which you were, right? You're already there. You know you were in the right gym to go to the next level of high-level amateur, pro, where you're going now. Yeah. But boxing tests you because at the end of the day, it's only you. Mm-hmm. Your coaches could tell you what to do. They could help you. But at the end of the day, it's you. You know, and you got to be able to maneuver through if you're having a bad day, if you're tired, if you're sick, there's stuff going on in your life, you know, fight's not going your way, whatever the case may be, you got to weather that whole storm and say, how bad do I want this?
Mm-hmm.
How bad do I want this? You know, and that, for me, when I'm looking at fighters, that's what I want. I want fighters that are like, look, we all want to coach world champions, don't get me wrong, right? I'm never going to snooze at that, right? But for me, I'm going to take a kid who wants to outwork somebody all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know at the end of the day, that kid's going to give you, that guy or girl is going to give you everything they got. And what happens, happens in a fight. It don't matter. Give me everything you got. Walk out the ring.
Ask for.
You know? So now you're here. You know, we got February 15th. How excited are you about this now? Is this like did you see that? Let's put it this way. Did you see this at the beginning of the journey? Did you see February 15th and say, that's what's going to happen here?
I really didn't. Like, this experience, it's more than I expected. Something it's completely different than what I expected. You know, I'm really excited about it. You know, I still can't believe that it's finally happening.
Yeah,
know?
And you're making your pro debut in Connecticut. I mean, what more can you ask for to fight at Mohegan Sun?
Yeah, I'm happy to do it around home. You know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a lot of family that's coming out to support. A lot of friends. I got even family coming from Florida.
Yeah.
All the way flying up to just come see me. You know, and the support and love I've been getting has been unreal.
Who initiated the pro debut? Was it you, your uncle, or your dad, or was it like, hey guys, was it you to sit down and say, I'm here now, what do you think?
Yeah,
and what was their reaction when you said that, or however it came about?
Yeah, well, it was me who told them, you know, and my uncle and my father, even though I wasn't boxing, they was still, oh yeah, you know, that could be you up there. You know, sometimes we'll watch certain shows, or you know, we're watching a big fight on the television, or even because I seen guys that I fought in the amateurs that are pro right now.
Yeah.
So a lot of time, my uncle, and my father, they be trying to joke around with me, but you know, back in their mind, I know they're serious. You know, that's all they've been wanting to see is me back in the gym, because you know, I'm their son, you know, their nephew.
Yeah.
So they always trying to like pick, that, you know, that could be you, and that could be you fighting right there. And then I got to the point, you know, when I told them that, they was like shocked, like, oh shoot, you really want to start doing it now? I was like, yeah, you know, this is what I want to do. I want to fight. I want to come back, you know. And from there, once they seen that, right there, it was nothing but business. They're like, all right, you know, this is what you want to do. All right, we're gonna push you. You know, you came up to us, you know. Because that was one thing for sure. Well, that was one thing they always told me, like, I didn't have to box for their approval. You know, I wasn't boxing for them. They always told me, make sure if you boxing for yourself. So
yeah, I think that's definitely something that you can't box for anybody else. You gotta box for you.
Yeah. So once I told them that, they was like, all right, you know, we're gonna give you that support. We're gonna start pushing you. We're gonna get the ball rolling. That's what you really want to do, you know. And from there, that's when we started taking off. So now that February 15 is right around the corner, you know, it's been an unreal emotion for me, you know. I can't believe that something that I always wanted to do since I was 8 years old, putting on those first pair of gloves, is finally happening. You know, my dreams are finally coming true. And it's just been an unreal experience, you know. Everything I've been going through with the camp, you know, going through a press conference last week, having my first podcast here, I've been kind of trying to take a step back and just soak it all up. You know, I've been trying to live in the moment and enjoy the journey to get in there.
Yeah, I mean, and look, your journey, you're going to make a big splash, right? Because, you know, most guys in your situation are going to fight on some small little local show somewhere and, you know, kind of get your feet wet as a pro. I mean, you're going on a card with a lot of top talent.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a sold-out event.
Yeah, we got a stacked card.
And, you know, you're getting to experience the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, press conference, camp. You know, now camp is pretty much winding down for you? Or is it you're just pretty much, maybe another sparring session or so? Or
yeah, we got like probably another one or two probably this week, and then just finishing touches.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so, you know, with camp being home and working and everything, how do you maintain that? Because now it's getting close, you know? I mean, I know you're going to have a lot of support coming out of the gym in the Bridgeport area. So, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are. But how are you trying to say, okay, I still got my job to do.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta keep training. I gotta keep my head going here. And I know it's got to be a little hard because people are like, oh man, Anthony, we're ready to watch you.
Yeah.
You know, what have you changed up? Anything?
I've just been still the same, you know. Been just working on my style and just trying to adapt during in my sparring sessions, and it's pretty much just been training and you know, a lot of people been telling me this and that to me, you know, how proud of me and everything. You know, I really I appreciate the love and support I've been getting, but I still been, you know, tunnel vision. You know, I gotta stay focused. You know, this is you. You know, only you getting in that ring. So not everybody else. No matter what they say, they not getting in the ring for you. It's only you. So you gotta stay focused. Make sure you're working. You know, I'm working 110% every day.
Yeah, the job's almost there already. So, you know, you've been out of the ring. A lot of people haven't seen you other than the locals over there and the guys that you've been working with. Tell us a little bit about your style. Let's put it this way. Did your style change from when you were last fighting as an amateur, right, as a young man, a couple of years ago now? Or are you taking that style, switching it up a little bit, polishing it, adding to it? What have you been working on? Without going too crazy, you don't got to divulge the whole plan.
I definitely felt my style change from amateur to now, because when I was an amateur, you know, I feel I didn't really have a certain style yet. Right. I was still trying to find myself, trying to find what was comfortable for me. So then, when I started my journey, you know, being big, you know, I wasn't able to have all that footwork that I used to have. I was kind of like, I had to stay right there in the pocket with you and just move. I was, you know,
so give a little angle, not too much.
Yeah, so kind of like my style kind of like shifted to where I may be in front of you, but when you throw that punch, I'm not gonna be there no more. So I like to be on the defensive side and trying to counter punch. That's kind of like more of my style now. I like to more just sit there in front of you and make you miss, get you frustrated, and then I know once I get into your head, kind of with that frustration, I know I got you there. So it's kind of like I sit in the pocket, move, bob, weave, stick, you know. That's kind of like how I developed into my style now.
Yeah. Who you guys been working with to help you for this fight?
We've been sparring with Douglas from Norwalk.
Yep. Douglas American. Yep.
Yeah, he's been a big help. You know, he's 4-0 right now, and he's fighting February 22nd in Foxwoods, the week after mine.
Yeah.
So we've been helping each other prepare for our fights.
Yeah, that's good work right there. You know, I'm sure Carlos and your dad are putting you through the ringer here to be the best version of yourself that you can be for this fight. How's the home life for camp? Because I think for me, as a coach, I see fighters at both levels where they're away from home and when they're home. I think some fighters it's okay for them to be home, but then I think some fighters it's a tough thing to be home because it becomes a distraction, and you're still working.
Yeah,
I mean, so how's that balance for? I mean, getting ready.
Yeah, my home life is great. To be honest, because I wake up at 4:00 in the morning, take off to work at 4:30 to get there by 5, and I work a 10-hour shift.
Yeah.
So once I get out of work, I go straight to the gym. I'm in the gym for 2.5 or 3 hours. So basically, when I come home, it's just more of eat my dinner, shower, and go straight to bed. It's kind of like how my home life is. So my home life ain't really been a distraction to me because it's just more of I go home just to sleep, eat, and then I'm back to going to work the next day.
Yeah, I see. So, you know, support for this fight. Do you feel a little bit of pressure that you got to represent Bridgeport here?
A little bit. I feel like a little pressure is on me now, but I feel like I got all of the pressure yet because not a lot of people, you know, a lot of people haven't seen me fight in a while.
Right.
And there's still a lot of people who don't know about me yet.
But still, you're carrying the expectation of not only your city, but your gym because of what's been produced at, you know, I don't want to miss anybody out. You know, obviously Lefty Marrero.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Jacob Lefty Marrero.
Yep.
You know, he's been a big help for me. You know, being able to be in the behind the scenes
Yeah.
watching him throughout his pro career, I just been taking that step back and soaking in
Yeah,
all the knowledge I could get from him.
If we could throw that in for a second here, right? And look, got some great stories here that come out of boxing and everything else, and his stories got to be motivational also to watch. And I don't want to go into it too much. We had him on the show, and look, he's a talented young kid. You saw that unfold in front of you, and now he's back with a vengeance. I mean, you guys got some resilience over there and some grit going on out of that gym. Do you think when you guys go to shows, not only as amateurs, but now as pros, that's in people's heads? Oh, man, we got to fight them guys for more T's. Man, them guys are tough.
Yeah, because we from Bridgeport, we a small city, but we make big noise, small but big city. And we come with that grit, as you said. We ain't coming to lay down. We coming tough. We coming with a mentality that nobody's seen before, mentality that's unbreakable. So, when you hear somebody coming from Bridgeport, it's more just be aware, we coming to break the doors down and take over.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and it's funny because, if you go by Carlos and your dad, they're very quiet, humble guys.
Yeah.
And always very well-spoken, always very, on point. And I look and it's like, but, you guys coming out of that gym, even the young guys, there's a lot of dogs over there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's got to be helpful for you in training because of what's in the gym helping to get you ready. Not always these guys coming out. You got a lot of young guys over there that probably want to prove themselves.
Yeah.
So let me get a couple rounds with him, and let me get some work with him, and challenging and pushing you. How's working with Lefty in the ring?
Man, that's when me and him get in the ring, it's a chess match. It's just we know each other's styles so well, so it's kind of like we'll be in there, we'll throw the same punch at the same time because we'll laugh at each other. We take that step back and laugh like, all right, let's chill with that, But it's like a chess match because we grew up the entire time in the gym with each other, and we grew up watching each other. We got the same coach, so kind of our styles kind of like similar. So it's always a chess match when we get in that ring.
How has been influential in helping you get ready for this fight?
He's been big. He's been this entire camp. He's been right there, right behind me. He's been giving me so much knowledge, like kind of like a lot of the insight, and then top of it, he's helping me with like the feelings of the emotion, like the mental part of turning pro, having a fight. All the feelings you get right before you get into the ring. He's right there, like keeping me level headed. It's normal to feel these things, but trust me, when you get into that ring, you're gonna feel different. You're gonna feel like you're always ready, no matter what. And he's been just such a big help. That dude, he like my brother. We grew up in that gym together. That's like my brother for sure. And just being able to sit back and watch his pro career unfold, and watching him from where he came from and the challenges he went through in life, and watching him now turn his life around and be successful now, I'm beyond proud of him, and then just seeing that gives me more motivation being in the gym, and like I'm seeing him go hard in the gym, I got to step it up, I got to go just as hard as him or even more. We feed off each other's energies and we push each other even more in the gym.
Yeah, and I think to be successful, you got to have that energy in the gym. You got to have that energy of people next to you that are like, man, he's working hard. I got to try to outwork him. And, but we go back to the same resilience and the grit that you guys, have both overcome something in your careers, all right? Your career is starting, his career is starting to take off, and he's had a little, diversity in his career that he had to handle. And, he's obviously doing a great job, very talented fighter. He will have great success, but, to see both of you guys coming out of Ortiz and being part of Connecticut boxing, and we talk about this, I talk about it with a lot of different fighters in here. Do you feel Connecticut fighters get overlooked?
Yeah, I definitely do. Connecticut got a lot of talent. It's just, I think because we're all so like separated being in Connecticut, you know, far away from each other in different towns.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to like have one big group together, but we still make a lot of noise in Connecticut. You know, a lot of people overlook Connecticut because they think more of like the New York kind of guys or the New Jersey kind of guys, but definitely Connecticut, we got talent over here. And we definitely somebody, like people over here, the fighters, we definitely somebody you shouldn't overlook because before you know it, you know, we gonna be up there just like everybody
No,
else.
I agree. I totally agree. There's a lot of talented coaches and a lot of talented gyms with a lot of talented fighters at every level, the pro level, the amateurs. We got some good amateurs coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at the pro card. I mean, just in your area alone, you go from Bridgeport to New Haven. You know, we could rattle off fighters left and right,
Yeah.
and gyms and coaches and everything else of people. And I don't want to miss anybody and kind of leave anybody out. You know, but I definitely think there is a lot of great talent in the state of Connecticut as far as
definitely is.
fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I just maybe like you said, because we're so spread apart. And I mean, coming out of New York for me, you know, there's gyms everywhere. You know, you go into 5 boroughs, there's more gyms than you could shake a stick at. There's more fighters out there. There's always enough work. But here in Connecticut, it just seems like maybe because of the state is the way it's spread,
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, a lot of this talent does get overlooked. But, you know, at the end of the day, if you look on your card right there, we have a lot of talented fighters coming out of Connecticut that day, you know, fighting on that card. You know, you're going to be on it. We have Ali Feliz. I'm not sure if Joseph Chisholm is on this one or
he's
the
on that
22nd.
card.
So, I mean, you 3 guys right there, I mean, that's some talent right there across the board in the state of, you know, a lot of young talent. You're in a class now of, you know, you guys, Ali Feliz is 21, you're 22. Joseph Chisholm just 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are the next class of young fighters, prospects, rising prospects coming up in the state. And to be able to fight on you know, CS Card, who was doing the shows in these 2 casinos. Foxwoods, my buddy Jimmy Birchfield, shout out to him. I mean, that's got to be a big upside because now it's like, okay, you have to get through February 15th. You know, and no fighters overlooking February 15th, right?
Yeah, of course.
That's your date. You know, what you're ready for that, and then you could talk about. But after that, you know, the future of you fighting is there as long as Jimmy is doing cards or whoever's doing cards here for you to keep moving with your career.
Yeah.
Now, ultimately, you're fighting at 72 this fight, 172, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to be fighting at 172.
And that's just to get you back.
Yeah, just to get my feet wet again.
Get your feet wet again. And then where do you think this sweet spot will be eventually?
After I get in this fight, after 172, I just want to see how I feel. You know, haven't been in the ring since 2018. So once I get in there, you know, my weight, the goal that I really want to fight at is 154. But after this fight, maybe I'll go down to 160 first, get a fight there or 2, see how I feel there. And then from there, you know, make a decision from there, you know.
How is it now that, you know, you've obviously cut all this weight? You are where you are now. How is it for you and your body to handle this coming down now? You feel it's easier now for you? You got this handled a little bit? Is it still tough for you to pull it and, you know?
Yeah, it's still definitely tough. You know, weight gain and weight loss, because you could gain weight so easily. You know, you gain 5 pounds easily in a day. But then just to lose that 1 pound, it's going to take you probably 2 or 3 days just to lose that 1 pound. So I definitely feel like I got it under control. I know what I got to do in order to lose that weight. Well, I also just got to be careful, because if the moment I take that time off, or I slack off too much, I could be back up in weight. So it's like, damn, now I got to go back, work even harder to lose that weight again, to then on top of the weight I already originally had to lose. So it's definitely still tough, but I felt like now that I got it under control, I know I'll be able to make that change.
So now, you know, you're at 72. You feel when you're back in the ring from years ago, what has changed in your movement? Smarter? Are you moving like you remember you moved? Are some of those old, you know, habits of you in the ring, are they still there? Or did you have to go back and say, man, it's not what I remember. I got to change it up a little bit, or
Yeah.
did it come back as quick as you thought, or?
Yeah, it definitely came back, because I felt like since I've been doing it for so long, it's muscle memory,
Yeah.
I feel like for any fighter that take off time and come back, like you don't ever lose it. It's always there because it's like a muscle memory. But as I was getting back into it, it was like, all right, I'm not able to do as much as I used to, so I just got to keep working towards it. And now that I'm back being low again in this weight, I feel like even way better than when I was in the amateur. I feel like I'm able to do more.
Yeah.
I feel like my IQ has grown.
Your ring IQ, yeah. How you feel strength-wise?
I feel even stronger.
I mean, you're talking about 2.5 years, 3 years. You're older. You're growing into a young man.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of strength training, or is it just mostly boxing and cardio? Or
No, this camp I did a lot of strength training. Because I cut a lot of weight. I have a lot of extra skin on me.
Yeah.
And so I had to what, I'm now that I'm low, I gotta start strengthening myself up for these weight, because my last fight, I was a kid.
Yeah.
Now I'm a grown man.
So now you're gonna be fighting men.
Now I'm gonna be fighting grown men too. So it's like, I gotta start getting that strength in. So I've been doing a lot of strength training this camp. And I definitely feel a big difference since the beginning to now. I feel a big difference.
Closer to the fight now. Nerves starting to come in?
Nah, the nerves haven't hit me yet. I just been more just excited, just been looking for the opportunity.
Yeah.
I just been eager, been patiently waiting, but I want the date to come already. I'm just looking forward to stepping on that scale and zone out and just be tunnel vision for the fight.
We'll put you on the spot a couple of bits right here. First of all, what's the outfit looking like for this? Without going crazy, I mean, your first fight. Are you coming out with the Mike Tyson white shirt, black shorts, or you got something really?
I have an old soul, so I'm looking at it like I'm gonna keep it old school. I'm coming out with just like an old school design. I like how the old school fighter used to wear, nothing flashy. I don't see myself as a flashy fighter, so I'm going in there. I'm kind of like
you're going with the blue collar grit from Bridgeport.
Yeah, I'm coming wearing blue, definitely, for sure.
All right.
But I'm coming as like an old school style, because in the back of my mind too, I'm looking at like I want to bring that old school mentality back to boxing.
Yeah, I like that.
Where the best want to fight the best. So I don't want my outfit doing all the talking for me. I'm wearing something flashy, so everybody's doing a lot of expectations of flashiness, but I'm keeping it old school. I'm coming to show, I got that old school mentality in that ring.
Yeah.
That no matter who's in that ring with me, I'm coming, and you better be prepared for it.
Yeah. What can the fans expect?
They definitely could expect fireworks. They gonna see a fighter they never seen before, I feel.
All right, that's awesome. So we got February 15th on CS Promotions at Mohegan Sun. Tell us where we can get tickets, where we can find you on social media. Because we definitely want people to come out and support. This is a great card presented by Jimmy Birchfield and CES Promotions. I know there are tickets on the CES site. I know you have tickets, or Mohegan Sun, but this is a packed card of local talent. It's going to be a night of fireworks of boxing there. Mm-hmm. So tell us, Anthony, where we can find you on social media. And I know one thing, you guys aren't big on the social media over there at Ortiz.
Yeah.
I think Carl's just got an iPhone within the last year. He was working on a flip phone for a while.
Yeah. Because we don't like to post too much.
Yeah.
Like ourselves, we kind of keep it to, my uncle and my aunt dealing with the social media for all the kids back home.
Okay, great.
They, because we don't want to show too much of ourselves.
I agree.
So we just try to keep it, low key, but just still show people that we still working. But you can find me on Instagram at enforcer_OBG, or you can find me on Facebook as Anthony Enforcer Neives. If you're looking to purchase tickets, you can DM me on one of the social media that I have, or you can go on Carlos Neives Ortiz Boxing Gym on Facebook, or the same thing on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can hit him up for tickets, or even my father too.
Yeah, well, look, we're excited to see you fight. I'm excited to be there to catch your pro debut. It's going to be a great night of boxing. And look, hit up for tickets, like Anthony said. Go to Ortiz Boxing, CES Promotions, Mohegan Sun. February 15th, Winter Brawl at Mohegan Sun, presented by CES Promotion, Jimmy Birchfield. Please come out and support this young man. He is one of the rising talents out of a great gym that's not only producing great pro fighters, but that does a lot for the local community. Carlos Neives at Ortiz Boxing. Shout out to him and everybody involved over there. He's a mainstay in the state of Connecticut. Very humble guy, doesn't say too much, but go to his gym and see what he's doing, not only with these guys who are becoming pros, but with the young kids in the state and the city of Bridgeport. And, big shout out to him. And, we appreciate the support on Coach's Corner from our sponsor, farmerstrength.com. Go to our site, www.farmerstrength.com. Got Coach's Corner podcast gear, Farmer Strength gear, Coach G. It's Coach Dave here. Train hard, train smart, and we'll see you in the next round of Coach's Corner.